everybody. How are you? And welcome to another week of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I am super excited that you are tuning in with me on tonight. And yes, we are really kicking off the I Have a Story book tour. We officially be kicking it off in September, but I believe that, listen, I want you guys, we're going to be talking about that. I do want you to go ahead and mark your calendars. We have some amazing, amazing authors that are coming through. And so our author that is coming on tonight is pretty much someone that I've had the privilege of interviewing. Excuse me. I've had the privilege of interviewing and also seeing her hit the stage as a global speaker as well. So listen, I want you to stay tuned and we'll be bringing on the phenomenal, yes, Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. Yes, who is joining me tonight. She has a brand new solo book project that I believe is going to be evergreen. It's going to be your go-to tool for us women. And it's called The Goddess on the Go. You know, we've been talking about a lot of self-care and the necessity of having self-care. And so it is Goddess on the Go, Inner Self-Care for the Unstoppable Woman, with none other than the author herself, Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. So I want to take a moment and listen, go ahead and get this shared out. This is Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. We are powered by CTR Media Network, where we are heard in over 350 million viewers worldwide and over 100 countries globally. I do want to thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and get this shared out. Share it out to at least, I tell you, 5 people. I'll be sharing it out as well. So we're going to play our intro. And then after we do that, we will be hearing from our guest, none other than a global speaker, entrepreneur, and yes, Dr. Angela Harden-Mack, who is a #1 best-selling author as well. So stay tuned and I will go ahead and do our intro and we're going to get our, as I say, get this party started. All right, guys? All right, we'll be talking with you shortly. Listen, go ahead and begin sharing it out and I'll be right back with you. Yes, indeed. And there she is. Hi. Yay, Dr. Angela, how are you tonight?
I am super excited and I'm great, Sandy. How are you? I'm so happy to be here.
I am great. I'm glad to have you on the show tonight. I'm super, super excited. Thank you so much. As I was telling our audience just a few moments ago, I do an author tour every quarter. And listen, so much, this is so fitting for you to kind of like lead us on into the tour, okay? Leading us and leading our audience into the tour. We do I call, I have a story, you know, I have a story. Everyone, I believe, all has a story to tell. Yes. And so, we'll be doing our quarter, kicking it off in September. But those of you that are tuning in, we are with, yes, none other than Dr. Angela Harden-Mack, MD. She is the go-to wellness coach with your resources to gain work-life harmony and thrive in all areas of your life. She has a new book project coming out, and actually it's already out, right?
Yeah.
The book is already out. I'm going to share my screen. It is an ebook. You all listen. There it is. So beautiful. So beautiful. And it's Goddess on the Go, Inner Self-Care for the Unstoppable Woman. Listen, you are going to, I'm going to tell you how much this lines up because our guest who I'll be interviewing on Thursday, I'll be making that announcement before we end. But this is amazing. I love it. Listen, audience, thank you guys for tuning in. Do go ahead and get this shared out. I'm going to be doing the same thing here. But Dr. Angela, come on and say hello to our audience. You are a leading expert in holistic
Yes.
wholeness and wellness. And yes,
Yes.
as a result, you have brought many women together in
Mhm.
understanding and knowing who they are
Yeah.
as a woman. And wellness is certainly your key point because your desire for wanting us to live a holistic and well life. Come on and say hello
Yes.
to us, if you will.
Yes, hello everyone. I am, when I say super, I mean super excited to be here with this phenomenal podcast host. And I've been knowing Sandy for a number of years. And this is such a pleasure for me to talk to you, the audience, about wellness and to be whole and to thrive. And, as we say at Live Great Lives, beloved, we pray that you are healthy and you prosper even as your soul prospers. So, Sandy, thank you so much for having me. Oh,
Yes. And I'm
yes.
saying absolutely yes. And we're going to just dive in. This is on a book tour. As you all know, what we do, we have authors that come through and share their incredible stories. And this particular book, as Dr. Harding has let us know, just a little bit of information. What we're going to talk about is Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. This presentation, she presents a revolutionary approach to self-care, specifically designed for the busy professional woman. We're going to put a pin right there. Why did you find it was so necessary for having
Yes.
something to relate to the busy professional woman?
And I like what you said for us to put a pin right there because it is time. And that's the introduction to the book. It is time for us to go deeper when it relates to self-care. There are different levels. And that for women in our modern times, so busy, so the pace is fast, we have so many things that we're juggling
Yeah.
that in order for us to thrive at home and thrive at work, we have to take our self-care to another level and a deeper depth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And Dr. Angela, and we're hearing it a lot. But I believe that what you've done, you're homing in on the specifics because now on the calendar, you've got self care
Mhm.
month and the mental health month and all of that. And
Mhm.
so I believe that what you're doing is transformational. And so we're going to dive deep into this in just a little bit. Listen, you all, I just want to share a little bit about again who Dr. Angela is, and we said with a profound passion for empowering women, Dr. Angela combines the innovative inner self care strategies with a deep understanding of feminine energy, guiding
Mhm.
readers on a transformative journey to optimal well being. I love this. This book that we're going to be talking about tonight, it delves into the importance of connecting with the inner self, the core of our being that house the true essence, values, emotions, and spiritual beliefs. For many
Mhm.
women, this inner world is overshadowed by the demands of modern life. Dr. Angela's work encourages women to nurture this vital aspect of themselves, leading to the enhanced confidence, emotional resilience, and a balanced, fulfilled life. I do want to ask you,
Mhm.
so I think we kind of led into it. What inspired you to write Goddess on the Go and focus specifically on the inner care for the busy
Yeah.
professional woman? And I believe we kind of allude to that, but you want to add to that?
Yes. Well, like you mentioned, self-care, people know about self-care now. Someone the other day said we kind of like self-care out. I think there's always a place for that, but
Yeah.
it's time for us to go deeper with that. And our inner world creates the outer world. And for people, if you have been in my spheres, and especially I've talked about manifestation, one of the laws that is my go-to, the outer world again reflects your inner world. So when
Mhm.
we're talking about prospering, when we're talking about having work-life balance and work-life harmony, what we see out here is in relationship or a result of what we have in here. So self-care is important. That first level of resting, that second level of relaxation, that third level, as I call it, of rejuvenation, body, mind, and spirit, important. But we need to go here. We need to focus on the inner self, our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions, who we are. So we have to take care of inner woman in order for the outer world to be what
Yeah.
we want it to be.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And so, can you explain to us what that inner self truly represents and why it's so crucial for women to nurture in, especially in a fast-paced world?
So that inner self is who we are, dreams and aspirations, desires, and we often talk about authenticity, right? And that was
Uh-huh.
another phrase that we hear a lot. That I want to be unapologetically authentic, but we
Yeah,
do. We want to be who we were created to be, and so we adopt many roles as women, right? We have different titles. We're daughter, we're sister, wife, mother, doctor, entrepreneur, what have you. And sometimes, many times in life we put a mask on. We've talked about that as well. Or we have to be and do things that are not always authentic to who we are or the essence.
yeah.
And depending on where we are in life, we may be in that role or that position for a while. And sometimes we may feel as though, well, who am I? Is this the real person? So periodically getting back to who am I in the essence?
And it's kind of like as you stand, we stand in the mirror every morning. And back in the day, we called it primping. Mama was tell us, "Why are you in the bathroom primping so
Yep.
much? It
Yep.
don't take all of that." But so as we've grown, so yes, we're looking in this mirror at ourselves, and do we really know who we are? Women wear so many hats. Men do too, but the subject matter
Mhm.
tonight. We're
Mhm.
mothers. We are grandparents. We're grandmothers,
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
Um, Professionals, such as yourself, such as myself. And, we're community advocates. We're doing so, so much. But
Mhm.
as you said, our inner self, do we really know who we are? It's like this question is that people ask you, "Hey, how are you? And what is your name?" Well, I am so and so and so and so. And they'll put the title
Mhm.
on it in front of there,
Right.
that they are Congressman so and so and so and so, or they're mayor, da da da, but just who are you?
Mhm, mhm.
You know,
Right, and we have to ask that question.
yeah,
Who am I?
yeah.
Exactly. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
Betty Sue's daughter. No,
mhm.
you are who you are. And
Right.
this book, I believe, is definitely going to be a go-to for us. One of the questions here that as we're embracing how does embracing feminine energy, we're talking about our various activities that we as women do.
Yeah,
How does embracing feminine energy help women navigate life's challenges with more
yeah.
grace and
You know,
poise?
yes, this is a topic that is relevant right now. For women, as we are aspiring in our careers, whether it's the business, we're entrepreneurs or leaders, many
Mhm.
times we are in cultures where we may be one of few women or the only woman. And so modern's definition of success is about those qualities and traits that we typically think of as masculine, being decisive and assertive when we think about leadership. And so as we are pursuing our goals and leadership goals, we have to take on things. We have to be tough. We have to be the strong woman. And we do. But over a period of time, that feminine part of who we are, that's part of our beauty, our empathy, and that desire to be a collaborator and our intuition and creativity, those things are minimized. And there is an overemphasis of those traits that we typically think of as masculine. And so as a
Mhm.
result, again, that's we are told to dampen a part of who we are. So when we come into this awareness and this understanding of feminine energy and go, wait a minute, hey, there's a part of me that is amazing, and this
Yeah.
goddess, and it helps me to be unstoppable and magnetic and irresistible. We want to lean into that. And then we begin to understand how to flow because it's not just masculine energy for men and feminine energy for women. We both have both. And life is a give and take. Life is an ebb and a flow. And when we learn that, we're rocking and rolling and truly magnetic and unstoppable. So this feminine energy, and that's one of the inspirations, is goddess. Because we talk
Much
about
needed.
goddess, yes.
Yeah, much needed,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the body of Christ. And like you say, the femininity, because we go so hard. And
Yeah.
then and then we have women that are in all industries. And so we
Yes.
talk about those male dominant professionals. And
Mm-hmm.
so you lose, and I've talked to other women as well, that it's like you look forward to putting on a dress, you look forward to putting on and feeling beautiful and feeling
Yeah.
very pretty, and but
Mm-hmm.
also knowing who you are and whose you
Mm-hmm.
are on the
Yeah.
inside. Oh my goodness, such a great
Yes.
book
Yes.
that we're diving in tonight. Those of you that are tuning
Mm-hmm.
in, we're getting this shared out on our Facebook page side. So listen, I am on tonight with Dr. Angela Harden-Mack with her new book project. This new book project itself is called Goddess on the
Okay.
Go.
Go.
And
Yes.
it is talking about the inner self-care of the unstoppable woman. At this time, we are going to hear from, we have a new sponsor, well, an updated sponsor. We've got some new information. We've got some sponsors here on our broadcast. So we are going to hear from Dr. Jonathan Haynes. We just released his information and we're going to hear from him at this time. So you all stay tuned, and we're hearing from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jonathan Haynes, and I'm so honored to be a sponsor for Book Talks with Sandy Sanders. I am offering my services to you. Yes, you heard that right. I am the Songbird of the South, Gospel Award-winning recording artist, 5-time international best-selling author, motivational speaker, educator, mental health coach, vocal coach, and I'm offering my service to you. Yes, you heard that right. You can reach me at phone number 228-313-9068 or reach me by email, sbirdproductions56@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and let's continue to support Dr. Sandy Sanders with Book Talks with Sandy Sanders. God bless you all.
Yes, Dr. Jonathan Haynes. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
you can just grab the energy from him. Dr. Jonathan
Yes.
Haynes, as he said, is a recording artist, serial entrepreneur, motivational speaker. Do go ahead. I got his information over in the chat. Click on to him.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, you will want him to be a speaker, a
Yes,
psalmist,
girl.
the whole motivational piece. He will definitely have your event and your guests, yes, coming out feeling a lot better than they did when they walked through that door. So thank you so much, Dr. Haynes. And yes, now, as I said, that we are with the phenomenal Dr. Angela Harden. I do want to say, Dr. Harden, we are on our YouTube channel as well. And I do see some folks over there. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we do appreciate it from here. We're with our dear friend here. So listen, I'm going to yield back. I want you to go ahead and just bring us in to this new book, and then how our audience can be able to get a copy of this ebook here. Okay, at this time, I'm
Yeah.
Dr. Angela Harden-Mack.
Thank you so much, Sandy. We have had an amazing time so far discussing this book. The inspiration for this book is for us to know that it is time. It is time for us to take our self-care to a higher level and go deeper. Yes, we relax, and yes, we are taking rest, but we need to make sure that we refresh body, mind, and spirit, and also focus on the inner self. So ladies, it's time. I also want you to know that as women, and as we are moving, and we are moving in our greatness and our giftedness, know that there is a part of us, that feminine side of us, that feminine energy that for so long has not been celebrated. It has not been advocated for us to unleash it and for us to walk in it. Now think about it. We often refer to ourselves and others as queens, right? And we talk about women as warriors, and sometimes we even talk about goddesses. We probably didn't even realize that some of what we say when we do that is referencing the beauty and the wisdom and the strength of feminine energy. So when we talk about, or when I talk about the goddess, I'm saying for all of us, feminine energy has multiple expressions, and the goddess is one expression. And it's time for us to unleash her. It's time for us to allow her to come to the forefront. The inner beauty and the inner wisdom and that strength that we all have, it's time for us to step out and to know that that part of who we are is just as important as that part of us that's driven and a high performance woman. And we are, yes, we're strategic and we're goal oriented. We are. That's what got us to our levels of success. Now it's time to bring the other part of who we are, more of the feminine energy into who we are, because there is strength in that. So in my book, I talk about why it's time for us to take self-care, in particular, inner self-care, to a new level. I talk about knowing that this is a hustle culture that we are in that emphasizes this relentless pursuit of the external markings of success. And yes, we are successful and we are achievers. But it's important for us to know that success is not just about what's on the outside that we have. It's inside, inner peace, inner wisdom, that fulfillment. And yes, while this hustle culture is going, do more, do more, do more, it's important for us to be well-being, be who we were created to be. And that self-care is important. And yes, while we may take on certain roles like the strong woman and the perfectionist and the people pleaser and superwoman, because that was the role I adopted, these roles may get us to where we are, but those roles are sustainable. And those roles put us at increased risk for chronic stress and overwhelm. And if we aren't careful, burnout. I was on that road. Yes, I had the superwoman, I had the S on, I had the cape, and I was doing the thing. But where it got me was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't the great life that I was created for. And when my friend brought it to my attention that I had the S on my chest and I was living as a superwoman, I had to make a decision. I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have it figured out. I was afraid, to be honest. I didn't know what it would look like to have a lifestyle that was different. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You know how to be successful. You know how to be driven. You know how to do the hustle. But the other part of that, a different lifestyle, I was like, I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I made a decision to take the S off my chest. And when I took that S off my chest, I stopped striving in a way. And when I took the S off, I put the W on because I became whole. I wasn't separate. I wasn't thinking about here and here. I brought it together and I had more wisdom. And then I became well. So instead of a superwoman, I became a well woman. W for winning, W for wise, W for whole. Anybody want to win in life? Anybody say, yes, I know I'm meant to be whole? Anybody going to the well to get some refreshing? So when I took that S off and put the W on, my life changed. I was never the same after that. That was the best decision, one of the best decisions I ever made. I gave up superwoman in place of well woman. Well, for I am wisely elevating my well-being to live my best life. And so when I talk about self-care, when I talk about the inner self, when I discuss wellness, holistic wellness, whole person, whole woman, well, are you ready to win? Are you ready to take your well-being to the next level? So ladies, it is important for us to know that despite the pressures, the demands, despite the fast pace that life has us in right now, we can thrive at home and at work. We can be beautiful and bosses and balanced. We can be fulfilled in our personal lives, and we can be successful and wealthy and impactful on the job, in our businesses, and in leadership roles. When we bring all of who we are, because that's what holistic wellness is, it's not just your body here. It's not just your mind here, right? Because there's no mind going out here without a body. We bring body and mind and spirit together. Some people say soul. We bring all of that together because we're whole. That interconnection, that relationship, and we nourish the whole person. We nourish these connections, and then we're able to step out into the world as a whole person. Body, mind, spirit, that's whole, that's holistic. Wellness, it's that lifestyle, making decisions, consciously making decisions, developing habits that help us to put our health here at the front. It's a lifestyle, it's a choice. So ladies, I want to say that if you right now are wearing a letter on your chest, maybe it's the S for strong woman. And if you've been following me, a couple months ago, I said it's time for us. We have to reframe and rewrite that definition, because strong doesn't mean that you can't ever say you need help or that you're weak if you say I need help, I need a day. No, we are rewriting that definition. So if you got an S on your chest, if you're ready to take it off, this is your time. If you have a P on your chest, perhaps you are a perfectionist. Perhaps you are a people pleaser, right? Because the boundaries have been blurred. Well, you can take that P off your chest today. And holistic wellness is one of the main keys that we have as women to do that. If you're like me and you had an S on because Superwoman, and you felt as though you are invincible, right? And you can do anything, or you can go and go without replenishing and recharging, you can take that S off. I know that cape is heavy. And that crown, right, that we wear sometimes with the cape, it gets heavy. But you can take it off, sis. Whatever letter you have, if it's not the W for well, you can take the S off. You can take the P off. Maybe your letter is I for imposter, right? Because we do things like, I hope nobody finds out. I don't think I really should be here. You can take that I off too. Maybe it's L for you, the Lone Ranger, right? You have, you want to do everything yourself and you don't feel that anyone else is qualified to do what needs to be done. So you don't delegate, or you don't want to be a team player. You don't want to collaborate. You can take the L off, because when we are thriving and growing, we do it in communities. Yeah, one spark can have some warmth by itself, but when we come together, there's more energy. There's a deeper and more intense radiance, that flame. So if you're ready, take off the S, throw down, take off the L, let it go. Take off that I, take off that P, take off that P. I know sometimes we mix and match, whether we realize it or not. Let me put up both hands, because I tell you, I've had a couple of those. S for Superwoman was my main one. But yeah, I had some of that perfectionism going on too. Yeah, people pleaser. Because society tells us that that's what we need to do as women. We are nurturers. We are givers, right? And that if we take time for us, then guilt, anybody feel that guilt, right? Because if we take time for us, then it means it's taken away from someone else, and that's not the case. There's no need to feel guilt. So take that G off too for guilt. I had some days I was driving to work crying, I have to start. See, my transformation, took place about 3 decades ago. At the start of my career, more than 3 decades ago, I was that Superwoman. I was driving to work sometimes crying and felt guilty about some things. I showed up and served my family at the highest level. I showed up. I served my patients at the highest level. I showed up. I served my church at the highest level. I said yes to family, yes to job, and yes to church. But when it came to Angela, it was no. It was what was left over. Sometimes it was the bottom of the barrel. I wasn't consistent with the care that I needed from me. How many of you have been there? How many of you have said, I know someone earlier said, Doc, I don't make time for me. What about me time? Been there, done that, had the t-shirt, bought it, probably the book bag and the cap too, because that's why I was Superwoman. Say yes to you. You don't have to have everything figured out. Don't worry about that right now. Say yes to you. Say yes that you want to be the healthiest version of you. And you can start with 5 minutes. Morning, if you don't have a morning ritual, a morning routine, this is probably a great time, because before we even get out of bed, sometimes before we even put the feet on the floor, we have that time. Sometimes it may only be 5 minutes before you think about, what do I have to do for the family, the house, the job? 5 minutes before you get out of bed. That may be your self-care time in that day. I was sharing with someone today and working with her about breathing exercises. And she said, I didn't realize just taking some time to breathe could help me. She was breathing. How before we learn how to breathe, we're breathing in our shoulders. When we breathe in, it's not here, your belly. Go ahead and put your hand on your belly. And when you take a breath in through your nose, and your lungs expand or fill up with air, your belly should move out. So you should feel your hand moving out. And when you release the air, exhale, your hand goes in. And so I was showing her and walking her through that exercise. And I said, when you start, it may only be just a couple of breaths, but you can do that. And even within maybe 3 minutes, I walked her through that exercise and she said, wow, I feel better already. And I told her there are different types of breathing exercises you can do that calm you. Because sometimes you wake up and you're like, when hyper alert, you're vigilant. That's part of that hustle culture too. We're always on. So you can use breathing to calm and slow down. Sometimes we wake up like this, whew, where's my energy? It's real. And there are types of breathing exercises that can energize us. And I also talked to her about music. Sometimes you can listen to your music, or maybe aromatherapy. Maybe there's a bath wash or a scented lotion or a candle, something that is a fragrance, a scent that can energize. So see, self-care doesn't have to be that you're sitting down for 20 minutes and you have your phone and you put your alarm on 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Self-care, many times for busy professional women, may begin with 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I ask you to set aside 5 minutes a day for you. I've said, first, say yes to you. Say yes to you. 2, 5 minutes. I know you're worth 5 minutes. I know you're worth more than that. And the return on your investment, the return on investing 5 minutes for you is going to yield rewards you can't even imagine. Say yes to you. 5 minutes for you. So you have that time, whether it is to slow down because you've been on high alert, hypervigilant, or whether you feel as though you don't have any energy, it can energize you. Sometimes that 5 minutes is about being grounded, being focused, because again, you're thinking, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? And even when we go to sleep at night to rest our bodies, guess what? The mind is sometimes going and going and going. That's why we have meditation that helps to relax the mind. So in this day, modern time, we all are busy. I'm the wellness coach for women who are not just professionals, but busy. Meetings, schedules, agendas, home, work, church, boards, you name it. We have a lot to do. We have commitments. We have responsibilities. We have demands. This hustle culture puts so much emphasis on the external. It's important for us to pause. It's important for us to think about who we are. It's important for you to think about who you are created to be, why you are here. And the you, not the one that has the mask on, the different roles, but you. And that time that you have where you set aside for you to pause, to be grounded, to be centered, relax when you need to, get energized when you need to. It helps you with your overall energy and your clarity. And when we have resources like the book, Goddess on the Go, self-care, not just self-care, but inner self-care, can bring you, for some, it will be back to that remembrance of maybe things you've done in the past, but you said, I haven't done that in a while. For people who are newer to this concept of, there's more to me. I need to think about the inner me. I need to think more about my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings. Yeah. Or if you're ready to go to another level, maybe you've been doing some things and you have been practicing some wellness, but you are entering into a new season in your life. Maybe a new job, maybe a new love interest, house, but something else, a new season, a new level where you need you need a recharge, you need a revitalization for your new and for your next. This book on self-care will help you to do that. Now, what's pretty special about this is pretty cool. And I know, Sandy, we've been keeping this as a kind of hush hush for you. It's not just this book that I released, but this ebook is part of a self-care kit. So there's the ebook, but there's also this planner. So it's the Goddess on the Go with the glow, and this is the planner. So the book is one tool, one resource by itself. It talks about energy. It talks about this time. It talks about feminine energy and the wild woman, the authentic part of who we are. It talks about the warrior, the strong person. It talks about the queen, our leadership, and it talks about the goddess, inner wisdom and beauty and strength, and how each of these expressions of our femininity is important. You can read the book and say, this is exactly what I need right now. And this is my self-care, maybe for this day or for this week or for this month. Or if you want to take your experience to the next level, then because it's all together in the planner, you can invite yourself on this 4-week Odyssey experience journey where you go deeper into what does it mean for me to unleash my wild woman, this authentic part of who I am? What does it mean to be strong in my warrior expression of who I am? The resilience and strength that I need. What does it mean when I'm developing the queen aspects of who I am? And what does it mean when my goddess, when I am unleashing my goddess, when I am free, when I am more magnetic, more radiant, irresistible, and I am unstoppable, persistent in my pursuit, my purpose, my goals, my dreams, my ambitions. This is your time. This is your now. This is your step into nourishing a deeper part of who you are. Your inner world reflects your outer world. And I want you to know that self-care is essential for you to be who you are created to be. Thank you, Sandy.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Hold up. Y'all, she's going to come back for a part 2 because we're going to dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to show my screen here. Did you all not really, you really need a book, a journal, and you got the planner. So you need all of these tools to be able, and I'm looking here on my screen. Here it is, you all. So this is the Goddess with Glow Inner Self-Care Planner. It is your blueprint for the 4-week Odyssey to unleash radiant, magnetic, and unstoppable woman. And this is it. This is it. You have your planner content, your welcome, your directions, wild woman, warrior, goddess, queen, reflections, then your notes and your reflections and additional pages. And then we have all of this information from our author herself and our coach. So listen, how can we get this book? What is the process of getting the planner in our hands?
Yeah. Yes. Well, you see the website there at livegreatlives.com. So when you go to the website, go to products, it is listed there. And we take care of our audiences. You know how we like to do. So, I have a special price for the next couple of days. So when you go to the website, this price is, again, because you are a viewer, because you are a guest, a supporter of our phenomenal podcast host. So it is there. And what I want to really emphasize too, Sandy, is, and I mentioned this in the book, and I believe also the planner, when you go through this process, it's not just one, you can go through it, next month, you can go through it probably twice before the year is up. So it truly is an experience. Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Well, listen, what a way to kick off I Have a Story author tour. I would even say this is some tools that we're going to be able to place in our hand to walk this journey through. Dr. Angela, you're going to come back, I believe, in September I got you coming back
Okay.
in September, right?
All
Sometime
right.
in there, and
Mhm.
I'll release that date. We got her coming back, you all. So we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper. This is a part one, so we'll have her to come back, and we'll do a part two. And we definitely want you to get the book in your hand, get the planner. Let's get through this journey. Let's not wait until, say, January. Lord had really begun to speak to my heart and really give me a word. It gave me a message, and little by little, and it's called talking
Mm.
about transformation. So positive transformation leads to positive results. And so as I'm beginning to navigate that, um, as you know, you reached out to me. We had that health scare with the blood sugar levels. You'd be so proud of me. My blood sugar now is around in the 120s. Lord, I
Woo!
I know. And so listen, this is the kind of atmosphere that we are in. We are women who like to hold each other
Yes.
up and support one
Yes.
another. And I am just super, super grateful for you. This is a good project. I love it. I love
Thank you.
it. Our goal, let's get this book in some women's hands. Let's get this planner. And listen, you all go to the website. There it is right there. We've got it running across the bottom. I've got it also over in the chat. Go ahead, click on over there, go to Dr. Angela, get that connection, get the planner, get the ebook. Let's get some positive results. She'll be back with me. We'll be releasing that date. We're going to do a part two of this conversation. And truly, I believe that this is our transformative year. This is the year of the unstoppable woman. We've got some mighty things happening in the woman in our world right now, and us
Yes.
women. We know, speaking of, yes, the phenomenal
Yes.
Vice President Kamala
Yes.
Harris, who is now the Democratic nominee. She is the Democratic individual that's running for president, female president. But I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm just sitting in it. One of the
It's
things is that
beautiful.
she stands on the shoulders of many women that have gone yet before her. And
Yes. Yes.
that's the most important thing. Excuse me. So listen, guys, look out for Dr. Angela. You can follow her all social media platforms, Indeed. And listen, thank you for coming through. I certainly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
going to
you.
have
Thank
a
you.
special announcement. And uh, on Thursday evening, I will be interviewing y'all. We got another author coming through, and it is none other than Dr. Donna Izard. And her book is called The Unstoppable Black Woman, Volume 3. And
Woo!
I know that this is what I laid out. So we are going, she's just led us in. This is just the prelude of an upcoming conversation. You're going to be hearing more and more about it, but I'm going to share my screen. This is our
Mhm.
ladies that will be coming through on Thursday evening, Unstoppable Black Woman, Volume 3. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Dr. Izard is very well known
Mhm.
in the literary world, in the legal aspect, in the legal world, in the coaching field as well. She is the #1 Amazon bestselling visionary author. And we're
Mhm.
super excited to have her, have these powerful women that will be joining our platform on Thursday evening. And listen, I would even say, Dr. Angela, if the
Mhm.
invitation is open, well, not invitation, if your schedule permits, I would love for you to come on through and be my co-host and help me
Eh,
navigate this
all right.
conversation. I would love
All right.
to. I would love to have you
Yes.
come through and help help me welcome these ladies. But you also, I believe that you would just be able to help me along in this conversation. But yeah, the invitation is
Absolutely.
definitely there. Um,
Yes.
so we're looking forward to having Dr. Izard and these phenomenal women that will be joining me on Thursday evening, and her and her contributing authors. She's got quite a few in this book. And so, yeah, we'll be on Thursday evening as well. And then we've got some other upcoming event tours. Don't forget Dr. Karen Prudent, Hills Prudent. She has the upcoming women's conference, you all, that we're supporting. We're one of their sponsors. So we've been doing some event tours, and we've been doing some speaker tours with her. And her event is happening in October. So we'll be sharing that more on Thursday evening as well. Well, it is always my custom. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see more of you on the YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you. Y'all hanging out with us on tonight, as well as your community. Your community is hanging in here and watching you and coming to supporting. So we're very thankful for that as well tonight. Well, as always, you all, it is my custom to yield back. You've given us quite a bit tonight. And I thank you. You've given us some meat to chew on and to digest, and most of all, want to get the ebook, you want to get the planner in your hand. So go ahead over to the website, click onto it, get that in your hand, and let's meet back here. You all look out for the date so that we can have this conversation. I'll give you enough notice so you will be sitting ready, and it's going to be a working session. All right, we're not going to let us talk too much, but we want to. I love it. We want to come in and work and listen. We want to glean from this great woman of God. Well, as always, I'm going to yield back. Any last words that you would like to share with our audience?
I want to say, ladies, know that optimizing your well-being is your ultimate power move.
Oh my!
Ultimate
that is good.
Yeah.
And we will open up another conversation. I'm telling you, we would not be off here, because when you began to talk about wearing the cape and the S on the back and being the superwoman, and it had to take a conversation. Listen, I had a whole list of questions, but we'll make it on the part 2. So much to just listen, y'all. Go back and listen to the replay. Dr. Angela, you really blessed us tonight. Blessed our audience. Thank you so much. You talk about things that having the super cape, having the S with the cape on, the cape and a friend had to tell you, and that's good. When we can have a sister, a woman, a girl, the girl say, listen, I got you. Girl, slow down. Otherwise, you're going to be in the hospital or 6 feet under.
Yep. That's how I was going.
Yeah. Yeah. And you having patients yourself and having to take care of patients and church and family and everything, and just going.
Yep.
So you've had to stop and allow. So you've gone through this journey, and now you're going to let us know how to have some balance. I love it. As always, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I am thankful for you. You could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be with us and hang out with me with my amazing, phenomenal guest, Dr. Angela Harden-Mack. Listen, y'all, I'll see you on Thursday evening. As always, y'all know that I love you. Listen, take care, and we will be back here again on Thursday evening, 7:30 Central Standard Time. 7:30 Central Standard Time and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Listen, you guys know that I love you. Dr. Mack, stay with me in the green room. And guys, I will see you all later. Have a great night, y'all.